afternoon, everyone. Now, a little introduction. So, Erica, I'll start with you if you don't mind. Your legal expertise provide a critical lens on the regulatory environment shaping digital assets. Could you start by sharing how stablecoins are gaining traction as a bridge between traditional finance and digital assets? And what does it mean for real-world payment use cases?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very important question, Nadia, because stable coins are actually probably the most fundamental tool that is changing the landscape of traditional payments operability. What we are seeing is that stable coins allow for stability, which is something that traditional cryptocurrencies do not. And so they are very, very suitable to be used for real-world case scenarios. One particular characteristic of stablecoins is that they bridge traditional finance with digital assets. So this is really something that's very important because it bridges the two worlds and it allows digital assets to be used also by to be used also by traditional firms that are not necessarily into developing innovative ideas. Here in the UAE, actually, there is the framework for digital assets and for stablecoins is particularly favorable.
Yep.
There are a number of regimes that can be found at federal level, at the ADGM level, or also the IFC. So we are really seeing the UAE positioning itself as a global hub to allow for blockchain-based cross-border payments.
Okay. On that note, do you mind just giving us a brief of the overview of the legal landscape for digital payments, virtual assets? Can you please mention a little bit about the different jurisdictions? So maybe let's have a look at ADGM separately to DIFC. Let's look at, even maybe like what VARA is doing and the scene at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So this, again, I think the UAE has a unique position in the sense that it allows for, it has a very robust yet flexible regulatory landscape. So it is possible to choose between a variety of jurisdictions. The first one is obviously ADGM, which is the first one, the first authority actually in the world to have issued a very comprehensive regulatory digital asset framework.
Yes.
And very recently, they also issued a law and regulations to issue stable coins. Okay. So it is backed by common law, English common law. So it is very suitable for innovators who want to operate on an international scale and have that kind of reassurance of having common law as a background. The other framework that I think is developing very fast and it is very promising is the mainland. So we have at the federal level the Security and Commodity Authority, the SCA, the Central Bank of the UAE. They just issued very, very recently a payment token regulation regime, which is very, very tight and very comprehensive. And then in Dubai, at the Emirate level, VARA, obviously, that we all know. So, and the IFC is, on this point, is probably less on the forward, but they do have a crypto token law. And that allows for certain products and certain services to be used there as well, depending on what the target market is and what the product and the services that you want to offer.
Okay, thank you. And just a little bit further, with digital currencies in general in a regulated environment, what are the key considerations for companies operating in this space? What advice would you give?
Well, I think key considerations are for sure, one of the things that I always tell to my clients is that, especially here in the UAE, yes, there is flexibility. The regulation is tailored to allow for innovation, but those are not sandboxes. So you need to be prepared to face heavy compliance. Normally, the firms need to be mature enough to be able to abide by the regulations, whether it is with DARA, with the SCA, or the Central Bank of the UAE, or ADGM. You have to expect prudential requirements and prudential oversights, so that is something that's very important as well. So it's not a free ride. It's a mature system which offers a lot of possibilities, but needs to be taken seriously, and it may take time to get a license because of these strict requirements.
Thank you so much. I'd like to take a moment again just to introduce Hakeem. Hakeem is the director and head of crypto at Surge Group. Hakeem is a veteran blockchain entrepreneur with over 10 years in Web3. So I'm going to go straight into it.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. So, from your perspective, how are crypto and blockchain technologies reshaping the future of digital payments? Now, specifically, what potential do they hold for cross-border transactions and financial inclusion?
Okay, that's a really interesting question. I would like to answer your question by another question.
Please
so, in order to understand this vertical, we'll need maybe to understand what is blockchain and what is crypto. So, the answer is blockchain and crypto as two different verticals. So, blockchain is a kind of digital decentralized ledger that can hold any type of data. Well, Bitcoin is only an asset. So it's one of the products of the blockchain.
Correct.
So just to give you a recap here, blockchain is way bigger than Bitcoin because Bitcoin is only a product. So why do they created Bitcoin? Because it's actually a method of payment. It's not a store of value. It's not an investment asset. Yes. Because at the beginning, Bitcoin was for the purpose of transactions, making transactions, sending funds. And then over time, people have seen that it's a huge value. It's really an innovation. So they start like putting money in this
So it developed
asset.
its own intrinsic value in a sense.
Again?
It developed its own intrinsic type of value in a sense.
Exactly, exactly. So and the other point is that over time, people start using Bitcoin. Why?
Correct.
Because it's really decentralized. They don't require any authorization from any third-party provider. And eventually, which is the most important thing here, is that there is no borders.
Correct.
So we're used to deal with the kind of SWIFT model, where if you need to make a transactions, it's like really costly, first of all.
And intermediary banks and whatnot there, so it's a bit
Exactly. And you need to get the approval from a third-party provider, which is a bank or any other financial institution. And then the fees are crazily high. The other point is that it's not working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So during the weekends, you'll need to wait for a while in order to get your payment, if you're lucky. The second part is that most of the times it's not working in some other countries. Like if you go to the third world countries, it's pretty much complicated to send or receive like any type of payment.
Yes.
So what I can say is that it's really different from a bank. It's already the future.
Correct.
So it's at the moment we've seen that the banks are trying to see how they can work together with the crypto, blockchain, and embrace this technology.
Yes.
I believe that it's coming slowly, but it's here. What I can see is that what happened to the email, what did email to communication,
Yeah.
crypto will do it to money and the current financial system.
Amazing. Considering these advances, what are some of the main challenges that traditional financial institutions face when trying to integrate decentralized payment systems into their existing infrastructure?
It's a kind of follow-up question because when we have any type of innovation, it happens also with the internet at the beginning, like in the first days, the old days.
So like early adapters, and these will last, and those who don't won't?
Exactly. So it's at the moment the biggest problem, the biggest issue is with the regulation.
Yeah.
I believe that the builders the kind of financial systems who wants to embrace the technology are facing some rejections, not only rejections, but also some hurdles when it comes to the regulatory framework. We still don't have a really structured way how we are going to regulate any type of projects or any type of, it's mostly related to how the payments are made, because the banks are used to centralize everything, have the keys in hand. Here it's kind of decentralized and free for everyone to make it. So the other part will be with the kind of adoption, because it's really complicated. It's a really tricky word. For example, if you're going to ask a really old person, how are you going to make a transaction from a wallet to another wallet? You're in a different network. It's going to be a little hard for them to understand it, right?
Very much
so. At the moment, it's one also of the major pain points. So talking about opportunities, I see that a lot of businesses are going to merge just because of the crypto space, because of the blockchain, because of the decentralization and transparency. So we've seen a lot of startups, a lot of other visions, and this is one of the major points that help people and also you people to come to the crypto space and build different verticals, different aspects. Also, I can see that the transparency and the decentralization is creating the kind of, border payments without any walls. It's creating like bridges.
Right.
Like the old financial system was creating like kind of walls between countries, borders. In crypto, we're creating bridges. And how are we going, for example, we spoke about challenges, we spoke about opportunities. Now, what's going to be the solution maybe? I would say account abstraction. Not sure if you're familiar with it, but I've seen that, for example, the Ethereum Foundation is trying hardly to create a kind of account abstraction in order to make it easier for even old people to use blockchain. Right. We're not always in this optical where if you lose your keys, you lose your funds. Yeah. So we're trying to make it like kind of internet. Using an email, you can recover your phrase or key. And so this is one of the solutions, I think.
Thank you very much. And just one more point. Given your experience in the global partnerships and over the last 10 years, obviously, you've seen a lot of transition and changes and a lot of government innovation. We're very blessed in the UAE to have innovative government, innovative leadership. We've seen, Dubai FinTech Hub emerge. We have VARA, we have Dubai Financial Securities Authority, and then again, DIFC and ADGM. How can this region capitalize on its strength, and what do you think is driving things further?
Again, the last point.
So given your experiences with this region and your global partnerships over the last 10 years, what do you see that is going to be the strengths of MENA region in this innovation?
Yeah. So of course, I believe that the GCC region is the first region that embraced this technology. Yes. We have VARA in Abu Dhabi, ADGM VARA in Dubai, right. ADGM in Abu Dhabi. And eventually, it's really fast. I see that the things are moving super fast here in the UAE, especially compared to the MICA in Europe, where they take years to make a kind of regulation in place and a kind of framework. Especially here in the GCC, I've seen that also a lot of people are techie guys, love the technology, like the decentralization. It's going super fast. Yes. And one of the major points here in the GCC is that you can see that a lot of companies in crypto, like from any part of the world, US, Europe, or even Asia, they're coming to Dubai. Why? It's for a reason, because of the regulatory framework. For example, let's talk about RWA projects, where there is any regulatory framework in the world. Right. I've been in Hong Kong last time, and most of them are trying to get to Dubai in order to make the things easier for them. Vara at the moment have everything set up 100%. So you can come to Dubai and have a real business related to crypto, 100% regulated without any problem. If you go somewhere else, if you go, for example, to the US, is super complicated. Europe is still going on. In Asia, it's still also in the first days. So Dubai at the moment is taking the lead.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Now, I'd like to introduce again Ms. Amira. So please, Amira, given your extensive experience in connecting traditional finance with DeFi solutions, could you share your perspective on how traditional finance institutions are adapting blockchain technology today? And I'll start with that, and then I'll come to the second part of the question.
Sure. So now when we talk about the TradeFi, now we have a lot of banks becoming fully digital, same like Wio, Maria Bank, Mashreq New, a lot of coming digital fully bank. And in order to be fully digital and aligned with the digital world, they start investing, opening as well the investment into the crypto and digital assets. You will find that they are bridging. One of their applications is the investment, and in the wealth management or in the H&R or in the elite application, you will find they start using the digital assets as to encourage their customer invest in it. So they are declaring the digital assets and they are trying to use it. Concerning the DeFi, it's a kind of retail banking, which you can say. So. Right. You can do lending, you can do borrowing, you can do staking, you can do farming. So it's the way forward in doing investment or wealth management or retail banking, but it's in the DeFi way, which is through a fully clear, transparent, decentralized investment. And you don't have to do the DeFi with the crypto assets. You can do DeFi with IPOs and stocks as well. So we've built actually an AI algorithm which was based into your risk appetite, will allow you to choose the best DeFi protocol which you can go with. So it's an AI algorithm which interacting with the best blockchain. And this blockchain, it's a multi-layer blockchain which allow you to see what is the best protocol based into your risk appetite. So a lot of happening in this world and we are learning daily in it, but I'm a kind of person building into the blockchain multiple protocols which is replicating what we are doing in the banking.
Amazing. You mentioned something that's very important. So with banks becoming digitalized, it's not only about the day-to-day transactions and being paperless or not having physical branches. A lot of people have the perception that a digital bank is just someone you don't see, or a bank operated by bots or automated services. So you mentioned something very important, that it's giving especially retail users access to DeFi on decentralized blockchains. A lot of so there's things backed by smart contracts and other things. Can you said something about staking, so let us talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about tokenization and what these actual tokens mean and how these holdings can be held with these digital banks.
Look, anything now can be tokenized. Anything. If you want the stable, you can tokenize it for you. If you want a farm, you can tokenize it. If you go with a smart contract, and the good thing that once you do the smart contract, it's a clarity and transparency. You have the full control into your investment or whatever you're doing. So let's say the mortgages. Now they are doing a lot of mortgages. So you can do smart contract, and I tokenize for you the home which you do it. And at the same time, I will lend you against it. So I can do mortgage in the same time. I'll be looping, which
raise funds more and more.
And raise funds more and more. So it's a big world, and people is learning about it as of now, and they are trying to use it as much as they can. So tokenization is the future, 100%. And the government actually is doing a lot of projects in order to work completely and focus into tokenization, which is part of the blockchain work.
Okay. So now I'll ask you the second part of the question. Given you have so much experience, especially in this region, and you're one of the leaders in even looking at digitalization in this field, what are the main challenges and also the opportunities that you see in scaling these innovations across MENA and even beyond?
I see it as opportunities. I will not say it's a challenges. It's an opportunities. And as I mentioned by my colleagues, the framework is in the capital of capital. I will not talk about Dubai only. I'm an Abu Dhabi person, so I'll talk about Abu Dhabi this time because he covered Dubai.
Yeah.
So ADGM have put in a full framework, to be honest, in order to register and open your digital asset and open your investments, VC,
Yes.
open your blockchain. So they put for you the full framework in order to operate. And as well, Vara is there, which is supporting you completely. So I see that UAE and Bahrain is a huge opportunity for anyone who would like to operate into the blockchain and the crypto world.
Right.
Still, people who's under developing is other GCCs. So I see the leaders is Bahrain and UAE. And they are taking the lead into the digital assets world and the blockchain and the AI, and they will lead the way forward. The challenge is always is we have a lot of solution, we have the framework, we have everything, but the financial institution adaptation. It's, when you talk about financial institution, it's a big corporates, to adapt, it takes them time. They have their
Yes.
own core banking. They have their own, so they do things from the surface always. So they can come with a solution for AI to do for you, scoring models, instant approval, instant decisioning, all of this they can do. But the transaction, how fast is it and how a straight through and the fees is very less, there is a long way to go. And
So
I
the
think
adaptability side.
the
they're-
adaptability from the banking, given that they have their core banking system, which to replace it, it's not an easy job. It takes years. When we integrated, I'll give you an example. When we integrated FGB with MBED, it took us 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I've been working there. I know how it was. We don't sleep.
A nightmare.
Nightmare. So to say that yes, the blockchain is cheaper, faster, and it will remove all the schemes. I can do the transaction in a second, and I can monitor it. This is a fact. But the banks cannot adapt easily to this. It will take them time. So this is, I see it, it's a big opportunity to partner with the ones who have this solution, seem like me. I'll give it to them, and accordingly, they will be able to move the transactions in a second.
Much faster.
Yes.
On that note, I'd just like to add a couple of things. Obviously, I am from Abu Dhabi, so I'm always going to have a bias to like ADGM and whatnot.
am.
But at the same time, most of my career has been built in Dubai. So I'm seeing, I will not say competition, but I'm seeing that our leaders are innovating more and more, using AI and even writing the laws and all, having all of these things like Dubai FinTech Hub. I myself have been through, almost a 2-year process of even obtaining a VARA license. On this note, Erica, you're like myself, we have a legal background, and I will say that you are, a blockchain expert, and yourself, you've been through the whole banking from a traditional banking perspective. Where do you see the UAE in 5 years? Please, any of you first.
Well, I think in 5 years, the UAE will have a very mature system. And it is true that there is competition maybe between the different regulators.
Yes.
It is also true that each of the regulators serve somehow a different purpose. So this is the beauty of the UAE. Depending on the target market, the service, the product you want to create and to offer, you have the possibility to use ADGM, VARA, mainland system at the federal level, or the IFC. I see the UAE leading the way in 5 years. I think in the GCC region is for sure the most advanced in terms of a regulatory landscape. I'm also seeing a regulatory convergence with other regions of the world, for example, with the European Union as well, and MICA, which, I agree with Hakim that MICA is much more. It's a very heavy instrument. It's typical of the European Union, and a lot of rules, and it's for big companies. It doesn't really serve that much if you want to go quick and innovate. But still, I see that the two systems can work together, allowing for exchanges and for companies to work on both sides of the regions. And I think the UAE will be the hub here in this part of the world.
Thank you. I think you wanted to add something on that, Hakim?
Yes, I would say that in a simple word that the UAE is already ahead of any competition when it comes to
Thank you.
the crypto and innovation, AI and tech. I wouldn't talk about the legal space related to crypto, but mostly when it comes to innovation, especially in crypto, a lot of people are just coming to Dubai, especially in this season where there is like the token 2049 and most of the big events.
Major
People
events.
are coming here to meet each other. Like everybody in crypto is coming to Dubai during this season. So we'll find like investors, builders, advisors, like all the big people are just coming here together. And we've seen a lot of innovation, a lot of people creating like some beautiful things. And when they came here and they see that everybody is friendly to the crypto and they have all the setup that they would need to create, build and prosper a project from zero till being in the market, till being a multi-million-dollar project.
Right.
So we've seen a huge shift from any part of the world to Dubai, the UAE, and the GCC in general. So I see that in 5 years, we're going to be like, we are already leaders in this country, and we will be even more in the next couple of years.
Thank you for your opinion. And Amira, would you like to add anything?
Absolutely. I see, of course, UAE is ahead from anyone. I see it hand by hand as a financial hub, same like US and China. So UAE is the financial hub before 5 years. Everyone is coming up, and I've traveled the world. I just came from Barcelona, Hong Kong, and Las Vegas. It was a business trip for crypto. Everyone who spoke to me was discussing that they want to push their head office here, and I've encouraged
Come
them,
to Dubai.
given yes, to come to the UAE, Abu Dhabi. I don't mean, don't get me wrong,
No,
but
no, no.
now Abu Dhabi become well known as well. So into capital of capital got
Yeah.
well known. People trust it. There is no scams at all. So UAE is ahead, and I see it as hand by hand with Hong Kong and US within 2 years, not 5 years.
We are very blessed, alhamdulillah, to have amazing leaders,
Yes.
an amazing business environment. I will not only talk about blockchain and digital assets, but even looking at AGGM and the facilities and the ownership and all of these things. So on that note, thank you all to our panelists for your valuable insights today. Your expertise highlights the dynamic and evaluating landscape of blockchain and digital finance in the UAE. And thank you to our audience for taking the time to listen to us. And please feel free to reach out to any of us. The information is there in the website of the Money Expo. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.